You ever notice how the most unforgettable kiss doesn't start with the kiss itself? It starts way before. It begins in the glances version of me, the pauses in conversation, the proximity that's just close enough to feel but not quite close enough to touch. That space, that tension is where the real magic brews. And the truth is, every man, no matter how confident or cool he seems, craves that sweet, almost torturous build-up. Anticipation is everything. It's not about rushing the moment. It's about stretching it, savoring of me, savoring it, letting the silence between you start to speak before your lips ever do. P version of me. Think about it. How much more electric does it feel when you both know something's about to happen, but neither of you rushes it? When a woman leans in slightly, locks eyes just a little longer than necessary, maybe bites her lip, then softly says 5 simple words that send his mind racing. That moment right there is what he remembers. Because it's not just about what's said, it's about what those words awaken. A man wants to feel like this moment means something. Version of me. That it's not just routine, but something unique, a spark just for the two of you. When you say something that feeds the moment, version of me, that intensifies that pull between you. He feels it in his chest. It's the way you look at him like you know a secret. Version of me. The way your voice drops just enough to feel like a whisper meant only for him. It doesn't need to be poetic. It just needs to feel personal. Happy version of me. When you combine that look with a like, I've been wanting this all day. Or, are you going to kiss me or not? You're giving him permission to dive in at your version, but you're also playing in the space of anticipation. You're not giving it all away. You're inviting him closer without taking full control. That balance, that space between confidence and curiosity is incredibly attractive. You're giving him a gift in that moment. Your version of me. I feel this too, without forcing the next move. And that's important because no man wants to feel like he's being dragged into a kiss. Happy version of me. He wants to feel like he's discovering something, like he's unlocking a part of you that not everyone gets to see. A version of me. That's what makes him stay in that moment. That's what makes him remember it. Happy version of me. You're not just leaning in for a kiss. You're leaning in for a connection, and he feels that. Happy version of me. There's something about creating that lead-up energy that builds in small ways. A laugh that lingers, a touch that trails a second longer than necessary, a breath that feels like it holds back more than it reveals. Happy version of me. Those are the moments he replays later. That's the moment he tells his friends about when he says, man, there was just something about her. And often it's not even the kiss, it's what you said right before. That playful, that unexpected line, that breathy, vulnerable truth. Those 5 words that broke the silence and made it undeniable. So don't rush. Version of me. Let him feel the tension rise like a tide. Let him wonder if you're going to close that space or if he should. And when you do speak, version of me, make it count. Not loud, not complicated, just something that makes his heart skip. Something that tells him this moment was worth the wait. Because when it comes to a kiss that sticks in his memory, the right 5 words, happy version of me, said at the right time with the right energy, can mean everything. And the best part, he won't just remember the kiss. Happy version of me. He'll remember the feeling of wanting it. That's what makes it unforgettable. Version of me. There's something powerful that happens when a man feels desired, not just tolerated, but genuinely wanted. It's easy to assume that men are always confident, that they don't need affirmation the way women do. But the truth is, even the most outwardly self-assured man carries quiet doubts inside. He questions whether he's enough, whether he's attractive to you, whether he's making you feel something real. And right before a kiss, those questions get louder. That's why the right words matter so much. Version of me, because they don't just lead into a kiss. They tell him something deeper about how you see him. Men thrive on feeling like they're winning with you. Not in a game-playing way, but in a primal, emotional sense. When a woman shows that she sees something strong in him, something masculine, capable, and deeply attractive, it hits differently. And it's not about ego stroking or flattery. It's about authenticity. It's about giving him a moment where he knows he's not just doing the right moves. He's actually turning you on emotionally. That kind of validation doesn't make him cocky. It makes him feel connected. It makes him feel like this isn't just physical, it's personal. So when you say something like, happy version of me, you drive me crazy when you look at me like that, or you have no idea how hot you are right now, you're doing more than just flirting. Version of me. You're showing that you see him in that moment and that who he is, not just what he's doing, is affecting you. Those 5 words, or even just a look paired with a breathless whisper, tell him he's not chasing a fantasy. He is the fantasy version of me for you right now, and that changes everything. Think about it. In that space before a kiss, he's vulnerable too. Happy version of me, he's reading your signals, trying to gauge the timing, hoping that what he feels is mutual. So when you give him that little moment of assurance, when your words confirm that he's having an impact, you take away the uncertainty version of me. And when a man feels confident in your desire for him, he steps into the kiss with all of himself. He doesn't hold back, doesn't version of me. He doesn't hesitate because he knows he's not guessing. You already told him in your own words that he's exactly where you want him to be. And it doesn't take a big speech to do that. It can be simple, direct, raw version of me, as sometimes it's not even the words themselves, it's the way you say them. It's the slight catch in your voice version of me, the way your hand lingers on his chest, the eye contact that says you're completely in the moment with him. It's all part of the message. You're saying, I want this, I want you. And that's what makes a man melt. The more secure he feels in your desire, the more present he becomes. He's not just thinking about the kiss, he's feeling it. Version of me, he's responding to you, not reacting to pressure. And that's where connection happens. Not just skin to skin, but heart to heart, because now it's not about performance, it's about presence. So if you want to create a kiss that truly shakes him, don't just wait for the right moment. Create it, give him that line that feeds his fire. Give him that tiny, powerful signal that tells him he's wanted not just for what he's doing, but for who he is. Because when a man feels that happy version of me, he doesn't just kiss you, he remembers you. And that memory doesn't fade. It lingers long after your lips part because you made him feel seen in the most intimate, masculine way possible. It's easy to think of a kiss as purely physical. Lips touching, bodies drawing close, the chemistry taking over. But what most people forget is that a kiss, especially first one or the first one in a while, is also a moment of deep vulnerability. It's not just about desire, it's about risk. And whether he shows it or not, a man feels that risk. He might lean in with confidence, happy version of me. But underneath that, he's wondering, will she pull away? Will this mean something to her? Is this okay right now? Those questions live in the silence before a kiss, and they shape the way he experiences it. That's why emotional safety matters. It's not about making it serious or heavy. It's about creating a space where he doesn't have to second guess himself. And your words, the ones you choose right before the kiss, can give him that reassurance instantly. Think of it this way: a man may initiate a kiss version of me, but that doesn't mean he isn't hoping for permission too. Not in a formal sense, but in that subtle, maybe version of me, emotional kind of way where he wants to know you're there with him, that you're just as tuned in, just as ready. That's where you version me, that's where your 5 words can work magic. They act like a green light, not just physically, but emotionally. They remove the noise in his head, the what-ifs, the hesitation. They let him be fully present. It's easy to overlook that men carry their own emotional walls. Society trains them to act bold, to make the move, to take the lead. But inside, they still need to feel safe. Safe from rejection, from misreading the moment, from feeling like they're being too much or moving too fast. Your voice in that split second before a kiss, version of me, can become the one thing that tells him, "You're okay here." It could be as simple as, "I feel so safe with you," or "This feels right," or even, "I've wanted this too." Short, soft words, but they carry weight. Version of me. They tell him that he's not in this moment alone, that he doesn't have to carry the emotional responsibility entirely on his own. At version of me. And the more you let him feel that safety, the more he relaxes into the connection. He's not thinking anymore. He's feeling. Version of me. He's not me. He's opening up. That's where the real power of the kiss comes from. Not from technique or timing, but from trust. He trusts that he's not going to be judged, that his desire is welcome, that you're emotionally in sync with him. Version of me. That makes the moment feel natural, fluid, alive. Sometimes it's not even the exact words, but the tone in which they're said. It's version me. It's the warmth behind them, the openness in your eyes, the softness in your energy. It's how you lean in just slightly, how your body language mirrors his, how your presence invites his. That too is part of making him feel emotionally safe, because it tells a moment is mutual, not forced, not planned, not performative, but real. When a man feels safe, version of me, he lets his guard down, and that's when you don't just get a kiss, you get the version of him that isn't protecting himself. Happy version of me. You get the genuine emotion behind the kiss. You get his full attention, his full energy, his full desire. Happy version of me. And that's what makes it memorable. That's what makes it mean something. Not just because your lips met, but because he felt accepted, wanted, and emotionally seen. And that all started with your words. The ones that gave him the quiet permission to be vulnerable in a way he rarely gets to be. There's something incredibly powerful about a woman who knows how to invite without demanding, to guide a moment without controlling it. Especially when it comes to intimacy, that fine line between suggestion and instruction makes all the difference. A kiss version of me, in its magnetic form, isn't something that's ordered or scheduled. It's something that unfolds. And a man, EP version of me, even if he's the one who typically makes the first move, doesn't want to feel like he's being told what to do. Version of me. What he truly responds to is a subtle invitation, a hint that sparks him into action while still making it feel like the decision was his. It's a dance, really. He steps forward not because he was pushed, but because something about your energy, your words, your timing gave him the space to move into it naturally. That's what makes it exciting for him. A version of me, that's what makes the kiss feel electric instead of mechanical. When you say something like, "Of me, what are you waiting for?" Or "I dare you," or even just, "This feels so close," you're opening the door. Your P version of me, you're not saying, "Kiss me now." You're saying, "I'm here, I'm ready, and the rest is up to you." And that's irresistible. Men, despite the image many try to maintain, are sensitive to power dynamics in intimate moments. They want to feel like they're stepping into something that's mutual, something that feels alive and unscripted. When a woman turns a kiss into a command, even with good intentions, happy version of me, it can feel more like pressure than passion. But when she knows how to use her voice to set the mood, to say just enough, version of me, to tease just right, that's when it becomes unforgettable. He doesn't feel like he's being directed. He feels like he's being drawn in. There's a kind of respect in that. It shows you trust him to know what to do, that you believe in his ability to read the moment and rise to it. That confidence you place in him creates a deeper emotional connection. It stirs something in him, not just lust, but pride. Pride that he made you feel something, version of me. Pride that he could take the lead in a moment you both felt building. and he takes ownership of that kiss because it feels like his choice. Version of me, even though you opened the path. This is the beauty of the right 5 words. They don't instruct, they inspire. They don't dictate. They provoke curiosity, emotion, action. He hears them and suddenly the moment feels alive. His heartbeat picks up. He watches your face closer. He knows you've just given him a green light, but in the most elegant, thrilling way. And now it's his move, not because he has to, but because he wants to. Because now he can't resist. The irony is, when you stop trying to control the moment, you actually create more of it. You make space for connection, for spontaneity, for inversion of me, for emotional heat. You give him the freedom to be bold, to meet you where you are. And that freedom makes the kiss feel so much more real. It wasn't pushed. It wasn't planned. It was pulled out of both of you by a tension that you knew exactly how to play with. So don't underestimate the power of subtlety. A simple line spoken at just the right time can move him more than any demand ever could. Version me, it's that soft nudge into a deeper moment, the playful invitation that leaves just enough space for him to step forward and close it. Version of me, and when he does, when that moment finally breaks into a kiss, it feels earned. It feels powerful. Version of me, it feels like something neither of you will forget, not because you told him, but because you let him. Version of me, in moments of intimacy, words have a surprising weight, not because they need to be poetic or elaborate, but because the right ones can carry a punch straight to the heart, especially right before a kiss. Happy version of me, where everything hangs in a delicate balance. The words you choose can deepen the connection or shatter the mood completely. Version of me, that's why simplicity matters. Men don't need grand speeches in those moments. What they crave is clarity wrapped in emotion. Something honest, shortened, something real. The truth is, the fewer words you use, the more they echo. There's this tendency to overthink those moments, to feel like you have to something clever or perfectly timed. But that overthinking kills the natural rhythm. What a man truly responds to is authenticity. It could be 5 words as simple as version of me, I love being near you, or I've wanted this all day. Nothing rehearsed. Happy version of me. Just something that cuts through the tension and reveals how you're really feeling. And because it's simple, it doesn't feel forced. Version of me. It lands right in his chest and it stays there. You don't need to craft a perfect line. In fact, the most perfect line is often the one you barely plan. It slips out because it feels right. And that's what catches him. Not version of me, not the words themselves, but the moment they arrive, the feeling they carry. Men are more emotionally intuitive in these moments than people give them credit for. Happy version of me. They're not just listening to what you say. They're feeling the energy behind it. They're picking up on your tone, your body language, the softness in your voice. So when your words are simple, but emotionally charged, they hit with full impact. Verve me. The beauty of simplicity is that it lets the moment breathe. It doesn't crowd the kiss with too much explanation. It leaves room for mystery, for feeling, for emotion, to rise naturally. And that's what makes the kiss linger in his memory. Happy version of me. Because it didn't come with pressure or a performance. It came with honesty. And when something feels honest, it feels intimate. That's what he's craving. Not perfection, but presence. The irony is people often use complexity as a defense. Version of me. They say more when they're nervous. They try to fill the silence with cleverness instead of connection. But the truth is, the silence before a kiss doesn't need to be filled. It needs to be respected. A few quiet words, grounded in emotion, that version me, do more than a string of rehearsed lines ever could. That's why when you keep it simple, you give the moment space to expand, to deepen, to become something unforgettable. And those 5 words, those small, seemingly light sentences, can carry so much weight because of the moment they arrive in. You make me feel safe. I can't stop looking at you. This moment feels so right. He doesn't need you to spell it all out. He just wants to feel like you're in it with him, that your heart is in sync with his. Happy version of me, that what he's about to do means something to you too. So don't underestimate what 5 honest, simple words can do. Don't chase clever, chase real. He doesn't want a script, he wants a spark. And when your words come from that raw, unfiltered place, version of me, they light him up inside. They give him the confidence to lean in without hesitation, because you've already said everything he needed to hear. Not with complexity, but with quiet certainty. Version of me. And that's what makes the kiss feel like more than just a kiss. That's what makes it last. A kiss on the surface might last just a few seconds, but the right one, the one that hits at the right time with the right energy, version of me, and the right words before it, can live in a man's memory forever. It becomes a moment he replays, not because of how long it lasted, version of me, but because of how it felt. And often what anchors that memory isn't just the physical connection. It's the emotional charge behind it. The 5 words you said before that kiss, those are what leave the echo. Happy version of me. That's what turns a simple moment into something unforgettable. We live in a world where it's easy to rush through things, to move from one sensation to the next without truly absorbing them. But when something sticks, it's usually because it carried emotion, because it made us feel seen, wanted, or alive in a way that broke through the noise. Version of me. And a man remembers the kiss that made him feel like that, not because it was the first or the most dramatic, but because something about you, your voice, your presence, your words, anchored it in a deeper place. This is where those 5 words have so much power. They're not just a lead into a physical act. Version me. They become the emotional fingerprint of the moment. Whether it was something playful like, I dare you to kiss me, or something vulnerable like, I feel so close to you. Those words take on meaning far beyond what they say on the surface. Because they tap into a feeling, they attack emotion to the moment. And that's what makes a kiss last in his mind. Version of. What's beautiful is that it doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, it shouldn't be. The most lasting memories are often built from the simplest things. A touch on his arm, the way version of me, the way you looked at him just before your lips met, and that one line you whispered that made the moment feel real. Happy version of me. And because it wasn't forced, because it wasn't calculated, it holds its place in his mind like a still frame in a movie. Version of me. He'll come back to it when he least expects it. At night when he's alone, in conversation with a friend, or even years later when he hears a song that reminds him of you. What you said right before the kiss becomes a story in his mind. Not one he tells everyone, but one he carries inside. A kiss can be shared with many, but only a few stay with him. The difference is almost always emotional. If you want to be remembered, if you want to leave an imprint, not just physically, but emotionally, it starts with that moment right before. The breath, the pause, and then your voice. That's what sets the tone. That's what makes the kiss feel not just good, but meaningful. Happy version of me. It's easy to assume men don't think about these things, that they're just about the act. But you'd be surprised how much detail a man remembers when a woman truly moves him. He'll recall your expression, version of me, the rhythm of your words, the exact feeling he had when you said them. And it's that feeling he goes back to, not